What's up, you guys? Welcome back to our channel. I'm Brandy.
I'm Craig.
Dying. And this is our channel, Sweeter Ground. Specifically, this is video 2 in our new series called Let's Get Happy, where we are documenting any changes that we make in 3 categories in a year: spiritual, mental, and physical. So this is our second video, and basically we're going to share a January recap. We're going to talk about what's happened in the last 30 days, what changes we've made, and we do have more videos already that are currently in the works, so make sure you subscribe. And this is Peaches. Subscribe to see more Peaches. Oh, sweet girl. Oh.
Okay. Thank you.
The real reason everyone subscribes. But we do have more videos in the works right now that are not just update videos. They're kind of behind the scenes showing you guys what's going on. So make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for those. But yeah, I guess we can get into it. We're going to share updates that we made, and like I said, the 3 categories in the month of January. All right, so I guess we can start with physical changes. Do you want to start with some updates?
So one of my goals in the physical aspect was to be able to run a 5K. Honestly, I haven't ran more than like a mile and a half in probably a decade. I know that sounds really terrible.
No, but it's true for me too, because we used to run like on dates, like when we were dating, because I was running at the time, so like we would run together, but that's been a long time since we've even done that.
So I was trying to make it a goal to prep a little bit for the 5K. So I've just been running a mile during my lunch hour, probably, every other day for, I don't know, maybe a few weeks.
Yeah.
And then one Sunday we decided to go to a track. I downloaded an app just to track, the mileage and the time. And of course, Brandy came. We brought Peach, made a day out of it. But
you guys will see more of that in an upcoming video.
So I ran in total probably about close to 4 miles. Nonstop. So
on his first try.
So I was pretty pleased about that. Granted, the time it wasn't the best, so hopefully we can improve that. But hey, I did it. I didn't stop. So I ran about 4 miles without stopping, and it's probably been about 10 years since I've done that. So
don't beat yourself up on the time. I was about to say it's faster than everybody who didn't do it at all, like me. So
yeah, I felt good about that. What about you?
So kind of congruent with that, I have had a goal of walking 3 miles a day, which the physical act of doing that is totally doable for me. It's more about like making time and committing to doing it every day. And I have done like multiple types of paid memberships throughout the years, like Spin Class, Twisted Cycle. I used to go to the gym with my cousin, but I just never, it was never sustainable. I never did it every day, or if I did it 3 to 5 times a week, it was maybe for a year or half a year, and then I would cancel the membership or whatever. So I just kind of made a commitment to myself, and I was like, I don't want to pay for another gym membership or anything until I can at the very least walk for free every day.
Which you've done so far.
Yeah, I have done that so far.
Spoiler.
Yeah. So that was a huge win. One of the things that I'm keeping a pulse on, and I know you kind of are in the same boat, is just the shoes that we're wearing. And it probably matters more for you since you're running and I'm just walking, the pressure. But I know that your foot was kind of bothering you.
Yeah, so I don't know if any of you guys are runners or know anything about shoes. I don't personally. I've never really, looked into getting official running shoes, but I plan to, because after the 4 mile run, my foot, so I guess it could be a downfall, but we all kind of go through, I don't know, a struggle when you're trying to complete a goal or want to do something different. But after I ran the 4 miles, my foot has been hurting, so I kind of been easing into running again. I'll, run a mile here and there. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to look into some new shoes and probably some new insoles to see if that does anything. If you guys have any suggestions, name brands or whatever, comments.
Yeah, leave them in the comments for us. Also, can we just...
All right, what's your next physical?
Okay, so I have been seeing an esthetician regularly for maybe 2 years now. She's amazing. She does all my facials. Her name's Heatherly. I'll put her little website down below. And in January, I have one of my facials. I have one about every 6 weeks, and I'm including it in physical updates because my skincare, my skin has been such a journey. I've had sensitive, acne-prone skin since I was like 13, 14 years old, and I have tried every single kind of either drugstore line or like Curology and Proactive and all these things that say they customize it to your skin. Like I've done everything, Clean and Clear, all the Walmart brands, like whatever. And nothing has ever made a difference in my skin except for going to see Heatherly for facials and the skincare that she recommends and uses, like that line. It's called Osmosis. So it's like science-backed, doctor-founded, and I've been using their cleanser and their rescue serum for like 2 years now. Skin's still not perfect, but it's definitely a lot better than where it was 2 years ago. I just recently added a couple things to my little lineup, so I was going to show you guys. I just recently switched from the Gentle Cleanser to the Purify Cleanser, which literally, Craig can testify, smells like an orange creamsicle.
Yeah, it does. It smells good.
And so we both love it. I've been using the Rescue Serum for 2 years. It's an epidermal repair serum. This, in combination to being aware of the foods I eat, has really helped a lot, because the biggest problem that I had with my skin was I had a lot of rosacea in my face. And one of the things that I loved about Heatherly is she's not just about topical skincare, she's also about like the holistic point of view of what causes you to have rosacea and everything like that to begin with. So she's helped me pinpoint some of the foods that trigger your gut and a mucus buildup right here in your nose and in your cheekbones that cause the rosacea. So between both of those things, like holistically what I'm consuming as well as the topicals she's been giving me, that's made a world of difference. And then the two things that I did specifically this month were I've added this to my skincare routine. It's called Calm, and it's a gentle retinol serum. So it's not as harsh as like some of the other retinols out there. And then I did a 10-day detox with their dietary supplements. I've done this several times before, but I always do it in the new year after Christmas when you've had all the good Southern comfort, thick food. Yeah, it's good, but it comes at a price. Did that this month and feel really good about kind of starting the new year with an added skincare product in my lineup, and also just kind of taking a fresh tackle on, not that I'm on a diet by any stretch, but just like being aware of like, if I have a lot of fried foods, it's going to be reflected this week kind of thing. So those were the physical changes that we made this month. Do you want to start us off on mental?
Sure. So one of our buddies gave us a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. So I started this book. I'm about halfway into it. Such a good book so far. So I guess some of the big takeaways, or at least one takeaway of this, is it's the small things. It's not, changing one thing, a big thing overnight. It's just small things just accruing over time.
Yeah.
It's really important, even if you don't think you're making progress, daily. You are, but you gotta take those small steps, and then you'll eventually reach your goal. I feel like that's what we're trying to do.
I was about to say, it's like a nice little sum up of this whole series,
if my foot can heal right. But what about you? What is one of your mental
my mental changes this month were also books. Basically, for me, if I'm reading a book, that means that I'm not on a phone or watching TV. Like, it replaces screen time for me, which has been so helpful for my mental. Also, because it all kind of goes hand in hand, I've been getting up earlier in order to have the time to do everything I need to do in the day, including reading. So all of that has helped me like sleep better. But the two books that I read were extremely polarizing for me. The first one I read in January was Daisy Jones and the Six. It was a Reese's Book Club pick, which I was torn over because I feel like Reese has done me dirty. I feel like half of her books have been terrible, and the other half of her books that I've read have been like pretty good. Like one of them is one of my favorites of all time. This one got a 4 from me on Goodreads. It's also turned into a TV show, which ironically I did watch immediately after, even though this is supposed to be replacing screen time. But it's basically a fictional telling of a rock star band and a singer, and it's kind of like if you watched like a VH1 behind the scenes documentary deal of a rock band, and it very much reminded me of like a fictional Fleetwood Mac kind of vibe. But what got me at the beginning was that it starts where most rock star stories end. So if that sounds up your alley, definitely check this book out. This book, on the other hand, got a 2 from me on Goodreads. It's The Grapes of Wrath. Craig's mom read it and gave it to me. Me and her joke that we are in a book club party of 2 and we give each other books back and forth and we love it. Love Craig's mom so much. I did tell her though I did not enjoy this one. So if you don't know what this book's about or didn't have to read it in high school, basically it takes place during the Great Depression when a lot of farmers lost their farms and they all are like promised all these jobs and stuff in California and they have to make their way there. I'm not going to get into the reasons why I don't like it. You can go look at Goodreads for that. I will put a few funny comments on screen that I saw from other people on Goodreads, but
I thought it was a classic.
yeah, I don't know who gets to make those decisions. I have words. I mean, I understand it was like probably a somewhat, like insightful depiction of that time of these people like traveling with everything in their truck that they own and trying to like survive, and like I understand that part of it. I don't know, I was just like, I told somebody, I was like more than halfway through the book, and I was like, why do I hate all these characters? Like I can't relate to these characters. And then I was like, oh, because all these characters, the males and the females, are all written from like a 1930s white male point of view of how women are or how men are or like how things, you know what I mean? It just wasn't very like dynamic or relatable.
Just play Oregon Trail, the computer game from the 90s.
Don't recommend. But I do definitely plan to continue reading. I've already finished one book in February, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But definitely have found that reading in general and getting up early, like I said, to accommodate for all the stuff I want to do during the day, including reading, all of that has helped my mental so much. Like I'm sure you can attest, like I've never fallen asleep faster and easier. Normally he falls asleep first. I've actually fallen asleep first for the first time in like ever this month. So okay, and then the last category is spiritual. So we're gonna go over some little changes that we've made. Do you want to start?
So one of the spiritual changes has been reading this 3-minute devotional for men. I like it because sounds really terrible, but I know we're all busy. But it only takes 3 minutes to read one, so most of the times I'll just sit down and I'll read like 3 of them.
Yeah.
But I do like it because it's quick. They're really good. They're encouraging reading, so, I don't take it for granted. So I really do like this. So I recommend if anyone's looking for a men's devotional, for sure.
I feel like they're great too because they're so bite-sized. Like if you were trying to start reorganizing your day, trying to make more time for either Bible reading or a devotional, that's a good start for men because it's like I said, it's small, impactful little chunks.
I mean, it's 3 minutes.
Yeah.
If you don't have 3 minutes, it's pretty bad. How about you? What are you reading spiritually?
So my friend Mia put me on this book and I'm so happy she did. It's a devotional called Upon Waking by Jackie Hill Perry. And I didn't recognize the name at first, but then when she recommended this book to me, I looked her up, the author, and I was like, oh my gosh, I know her like from Instagram. I've seen her clips. She has a lot of like little car chats and she's really cool. So I have been reading this every morning. I'm on day 31 right now. What I really like about this book is that, first of all, she leads with the fact that this should not replace Bible reading. She expresses that like this devotional is not meant to just be like a check mark on your Christian checklist of like, okay, read this and I can not think about it or process any of it for the rest of the day. Like they're meant to be understood and applied. And they're also really short. It doesn't say 3 minutes on the title,
Yeah.
But they are really short so that you can kind of like move on to the next thing. But
Yeah.
they're really impactful. And also I saw an Instagram clip of her that kind of went hand in hand with that point of view of this devotional of like not it just being another checklist in your or checkbox in your to-do list.
Yeah.
I saw a clip from her on Instagram and she was basically talking about how there's a lot of us like women who we go to these like Christian conferences or like women's retreats, or like we'd read all the devotionals, and they just consume the knowledge indefinitely, but they don't ever actually like internalize it or apply it. And
I don't practice it.
yeah, and I think even, I don't know what book it is, but I think Paul actually addresses that in the Bible. If I can find the scripture, I'll put it on screen. But so I love that mindset, and I love that there's practicality in here too. It's not just like what we should think about, it's how then to go act on that, or how to execute that, and how to be more Christ-like in like real life situations. She's very poetic as well. It's a very beautiful book. So like I said, I'm on day 31 and I love it so far, and it has been the best way to like start my mornings.
Good.
So that is it. Those are the changes that we made or started making in January to better ourselves, or at least try to, in those 3 categories: physical, mental, and spiritual. We said this in the first video, but I'll say it again. I would love for this to become a community of all of us supporting one another. All of our subscribers are immediately friends. So definitely comment below any changes that you're making in those 3 categories. Any running shoes, like you said, that you would recommend.
Or any struggles as well.
Yeah. Good point. And we will see you guys in the next video. So make sure you subscribe. We already have 2 in the works, so those will be coming very soon. And we will see you in the next one.
See ya.